So let's talk about mirroring. You hear it all the time. You've heard it from me. If you've been following the podcast, you've heard me say it a bunch of times. Relationships are a reflection of you, right? So when it comes to mirroring, what is that? Because when you look in a mirror and you're staring at yourself, you're seeing what you look like, you're seeing exactly what's on your face, you're seeing what your hair looks like. It's clear that you're looking at yourself. However, when you hear that someone is mirroring you, it's like your brain's like, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm nothing like this person. I would never do what it is that they've done. I would never operate the way that they've operated. I could never be them. So I don't understand how they're mirroring me. I don't understand how I attracted this," right? I get it. Okay. I totally get it. It is not comfortable to look at someone and see yourself, especially when you are wired to believe that people are so outside of you, right? If you're a woman, you don't look at a man thinking that it's you. If you're a man, you probably don't look at a woman thinking that it's you. If you're black, you're not looking at a white person thinking that it's you, and vice versa, right? So, I mean, there's so many different ways that we could look at it. When we're looking at things for face value, we have separated things from ourselves. We have looked at animals as animals, trees as trees, nature as nature, people as people outside of ourselves. It's really difficult for us to relate to each other. As a matter of fact, we still have this surprised vibe whenever we see that like somebody actually relates to us. We actually are like, what? Like it's like, oh my God, I cannot believe we went through some of the same things. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it, right? As somebody who has been online and kind of sharing my journey and what I've been through and stuff like that for some time, the one thing that I notice in everybody, including me, I've done it before too, is that no matter what it is that I talk about when it comes to me, everyone always reflects it back to themselves. They all say the same thing. Oh my goodness, you're preaching to the choir, same here, went through the same thing. And most of them don't even realize that even in a time where I'm going through what I'm going through, they're making it about them. Usually, you don't make it about yourself whenever you don't really necessarily relate. And at that point, you're separate from it, right? So you kind of see it as something that maybe you can sympathize with, or maybe you look at a situation that has nothing to do with you, or at least you think has nothing to do with you, and you're just like wowed by it or surprised or whatever the case is. But as far as you're concerned, it has nothing to do with you and it's outside of you. So mirroring is actually very difficult to understand because when we think about a mirror, we get exactly what we expect to get, a mirror. But mirroring is not just something that is, you know, when you look at a person, they're doing exactly what you're doing. Since you're a nice person, they're a nice person too. Mirroring, when it comes to people, seeing our reflection in others, people tend to show us what it is that we can't see in ourselves. So, whereas to a physical mirror is showing you exactly what's on the surface, exactly what you want to see, people tend to mirror what we don't necessarily want to see or what we struggle to see. This is what you're looking at whenever you hear someone is mirroring you. It's the part of you that you can't necessarily see, or the part of you that you're not interested in seeing. People mirror you for your soul's growth. And that's the part that I think a lot of people struggle to really grasp because we all think that bad things are happening to us. We all think that everyone we attract into our lives is separate from us. And if you think it's separate from you, then you will think it has nothing to do with you. But there is the need to look at things from a completely different perspective, that everything has everything to do with you. There are things in this world that will never make it into your reality. You won't know anything about it. Think about every time you hear something or learn something for the first time. You sitting there like, I was today years old when I found out that this was a thing. That's genuinely how you feel. That is genuinely how you are experiencing it. You are looking at it from the perspective of, I was today years old when I learned that. Because you're like, how could I have gone X amount of years never knowing this information? I'll tell you how. Because it wasn't meant to be in your reality. There was no part of your reality that attracted that information in, or it wasn't prominent in your reality, which means the universe couldn't reflect it back to you. But you some way, somehow got on the frequency of that information being able to present itself to you, thus mirroring whatever's going on. We are beings of frequency. So everything that we experience is mirroring us. Everything that we're seeing is mirroring us, whether it's mirroring us as a collective or mirroring ourselves. Somebody can look outside and think it's a beautiful day because it's sunny and bright, and someone else can look outside and think it's a beautiful day because it's raining. And the same person that thought it was a beautiful day because it's sunny could think it's a bad day because it's raining, and vice versa. Everyone gets to decide what life is going to be. You make up your own reality. And since you're making up your own reality, when it comes to mirroring, when it comes to the idea that somebody is mirroring you, really what it's speaking to is the idea that some way, somehow, you have attracted this behavior, this person, because it is reflecting back to you the parts of you need to check out. So if you have someone that is overstepping boundaries, disrespecting you, and you hear this person is mirroring you, your first thought shouldn't necessarily only be, but I'm not disrespectful. I would never do what they do. They're mirroring you in their own personal way, right? So that's what makes it hard. They're still an individual. So they're not going to do it the way that you do it, but they're going to do it in a way for you to have to see your true feelings about it. So, for example, if someone's disrespectful towards you and in your head you're not a disrespectful person, it could be showing you one, where you are tolerating disrespect, and two, where you are disrespectful, whether it be to yourself or to another being. Again, it doesn't have to be a human being. It could be an animal. It could be a tree. There is somewhere in your life that you are being disrespectful, and there's a prayer that you have said, a wish that you have made, where you want something that requires you to be less disrespectful to yourself or requires you to stop tolerating disrespect. So you're going to attract a replica, you're going to attract a frequency that is going to replicate where it is you're disrespectful. And it's going to do it in such a in your face kind of way, an appalled kind of way, to get you to see how it's not okay. So if you're dealing with a person, let's say a significant other, that's disrespecting you, and you are tolerating it like crazy, then you go to work and you're dealing with a boss that is also disrespecting you, and you're tolerating it like crazy. And then you go home and your parents are disrespecting you and you tolerate it like crazy. But that person on the street that disrespected you in your face, that one, no way. You have a boundary with that. Strangers are not allowed to disrespect you. That stranger just came to you and you're thinking to yourself, what did I do? I don't understand. Why would this person sit here and disrespect me so hard? Why is it that I have to go through these things? What did I do? Why is it such a bad day? Rah, 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 rah. But the reality is this person is showing you that although you tolerate it from authority figures, although you tolerate it from the people that you love or the people that you think you need in your life, this is how you truly feel about it. You don't tolerate it. You don't like it. You're not happy about it. And this person, this stranger that you can put your foot down with because maybe you aren't in a place where you feel like you owe them anything, because you're not tolerating it from them, the universe is trying to show you you shouldn't tolerate it from anyone, but you are. Thus means you're disrespecting yourself. Tolerating disrespect from anyone is disrespecting yourself. So now, while you're thinking you're not disrespectful, and this person comes and disrespects you, it is mirroring back to you where you are disrespectful. Maybe you wouldn't do it the way they did it, but they did it in a way for you to recognize your feelings about it so that you can change it. This is the mirroring effect. This is what mirroring is. And in every single connection, every person you call into your life, they are mirroring you. They are a reflection of you. If you're listening to my podcast, you hear me say it time and time again. And that's for a reason. But if you listen to people in general, whether you're listening to coaches, whether you're listening to the spiritual community, whatever the case may be, you hear about mirroring a lot. And with the clients that I've worked with, they always ask the same question. How? How is it that it's a mirror? I would never do something like that. And I always say the same thing. Never say never. Because the exact thing that you're going through at work is reflecting something back at home. And exactly what you're going through with your friends is reflecting something back within yourself. I have the ability to look at anybody's situation and reflect it back to something within them. Reason being is because it's always within you. It literally starts with you. If you watched podcast episode number 2, that's what I speak about. It begins with you. If you haven't, go back and watch it. But it starts with you, which means that people mirror you no matter what. Even when you think it's impossible, even when you think you don't deserve the treatment, your feelings about what it is you're experiencing is trying to get you to understand your truth about what it is that you're doing inside, feeling inside, or experiencing inside. That is like what connections are for. Relationships in general are there to kind of help you understand yourself, help you to see yourself. That doesn't mean that you make the relationship all about you. It just means it begins with you. It just means that whatever someone is bringing to the table, it's on your table, one way or another. And a lot of times, the way that we want to look at it is, well, if you bring macaroni and I bring macaroni, we're equally yoked. We're doing the same thing. That's what people think mirroring is. I bought macaroni and you bought macaroni. Wow, look at us. But that's not what mirroring is. Mirroring is, I bought the macaroni and you bought the, I don't know, Doritos. And it just pissed me off because, oh my goodness, this is a potluck. And I asked everybody to cook and you went and you bought the Doritos. And I don't understand why you did that. And for you, you're like, how could they possibly do that in a time where everybody's supposed to cook and they're supposed to be considerate of the fact that everybody needs to eat? They're just going ahead and buying Doritos in a time where we need food. So now all that's here is macaroni. Like, we both said we were going to cook. We both said we were going to cook something and they went and bought it. Like, what the hell? Like, they don't listen. They don't care about what it is that I asked them to do. They never show up for me. You're thinking that it's mirroring back to you, or you're thinking that it's outside of you. But what you're not realizing, it's actually mirroring back to you the way you may have treated yourself during this whole thing. How you made this a very serious situation and this person just decided, I'm going to buy something. I'm just going to buy something really quick. Or it's mirroring back to you that the communication wasn't clear, that you needed people to show up a certain way. Or it's even mirroring back to you that you don't listen to yourself. You also do not listen to you. Because while you had 1,000 things on your plate, you still decided to make this macaroni knowing that you just didn't have the time. And instead of saying no, you went and made the macaroni, putting you late for a deadline. There's so many things that it could be mirroring. And it seems so simple. But a lot of times the things that get us riled up, and that wasn't the best example, I'll probably come up with a better example soon. But the things that get us riled up, the things that get us so like, oh, I can't believe they would do that. It lives in you. You're doing it too. You just don't see where or how you're doing it. That person that bought the Doritos to a party where everyone was supposed to cook is poking at something in you. It's letting you know that people undermine you and you accept it and you tolerate it. And while you are so aggravated about the Doritos, you're not realizing that that's what's happening at work and you're letting it slide because it's your boss, because it's your coworker, because you have to work with these people, because it's money-based. You think it's as simple as just the dinner table. You think it's as simple as it's just the principle. But you're not realizing how it's reflecting something back to you. And a lot of times we think that the reflection back to us is, oh, it's just what we accept. It's easier to see it as, oh, I must be accepting this in our life. But the other part of it is, where are you doing it in your life? Where are you also undermining others? Where are you undermining yourself? Where you tell people, I'll be there at 8, but you really show up at 9:30. And you're just like, oh, it's not a big deal. The same way that person thinks that buying the Doritos to a party where they're supposed to cook something isn't a big deal is the same way that you are probably looking at people and showing up late as if it's not a big deal, while somebody else is just like, I told them to be here at 8 and they really showed up at 9:30. This is crazy. We are doing these things. We attract people that mirror us, but we think that the mirror is so clear. It's clear in a way where it's showing us our feelings about the exact things we're doing, which is usually showing you that if you yourself don't like something that someone else is doing, you shouldn't be doing it either. But that takes incredible authenticity, which is what we talked about in episode, what was it, 3? Yeah. Episode 3, we spoke about the importance of authenticity, understanding your imperfections. If you don't understand your imperfections and you're always hiding them, then you'll never understand what's truly being mirrored back to you. You won't be able to really understand someone's purpose in your life, what they are teaching you, what they're here to help you see and help you understand about yourself. See, here at the table, we're not here to just talk about what you bring that is so freaking amazing. We're here to talk about what you bring that is you, that is authentically you. And the biggest issue that we have is that we're constantly dealing and connecting with people only wanting a mirror of good things. But the good things that we are wanting has to begin with us. We have to exemplify that within our own selves and within our own lives in order for us to attract it. You hear the saying all the time, you are, like, whoever you are is what you're going to attract. And it's true. It's not what you want. It's not what you think about. You can't manifest what you want and what you think about. You manifest what you are. You are worthy of money, so you're going to manifest large money or money coming in on a consistent basis because you are that energy. You're consistent. So your money's consistent, right? Who you are is what gets mirrored back to you. And it's not just connections with people, it's connections with things. It's how you operate. It's even your timeline as you're going down your news feeds, what you're looking at on social media. It's all a reflection of you. When I was doing tarot for a lot of them, right? People would be like, I don't know why this is coming up for me because that's not my truth. And and the one thing that I always understood is you don't have to resonate with the entire reading, but the reading's coming up for a reason. It's saying something for a reason. Any reading that comes up for me and that, like, I see it and notice it, because, I'll have readings pop up for me that it's just not for me. But the ones that I click on, the ones that I watch till the end, the ones that some way, somehow I'm like, oh no, this is something, or whatever the case is. And I want to say it's not, I want to believe that it might not be a thing. Oh yeah, I am absolutely 100% lying to myself. Some way, somehow it comes true. Some way, somehow it's a thing. Now, if you watching every single reading that ever pops up all the time, then, you may be getting yourself a few different things. But even then, it'll be readings about the same type of stuff. You could watch 5, 10 different types of videos back to back, and they're all saying the same thing. Why? Because that is where you're at. You're attracting that energy. Mirroring isn't always just so straightforward. Mirroring is showing you something in some area of your life. And the only way to fully understand what a person is mirroring back to you, the only way to fully understand why you're going through what you're going through with your connections, is to really look at yourself. Because the connection you have with yourself is the connection that you have called in. Whatever you got going on in your life is what you are going to receive. And sometimes what you receive from a person isn't who the person is. It's just who the person needs to be with you. You've ever been in a relationship that just brings out the worst in you, that brings out a part of you, things in you that you've never said, you've never done before. You're like, I've never been this toxic before, or I've never been this liberated before. That's because that's the energy of the connection that's bringing out that vibe in you. Even if you don't identify as this is who I am, the connection itself, who you are with this person, can bring that out of you. The idea that there's no way this could mirror me is BS. Mirroring is what's happening in your connections. And authenticity is the way to understand what's being mirrored. And what people don't really realize is when we are hiding the parts of us that we're insecure about, or the parts of us that feel imperfect, truthfully, it starts to harbor lack mentality. We start to feel like we're unworthy. And so now when people are treating us a certain way, instead of looking at it from an objective standpoint of, okay, what is this teaching me? What's actually happening here? What is it telling me about myself? We're instead looking at it from a perspective of, why is this happening to me, keeping us in a lack mentality. And we're going to talk about that more in the next episode. But this is such an important part. I think understanding mirroring is such an important thing. And to not deny it and defend yourself from it. The reality is the more we are able to normalize imperfections, we're not going to be so offended when something is imperfect and it is mirroring something back to us. We're going to be like, okay, let me get curious. Let me see what it's saying to me. Let me understand what's happening here. And the more curious we are about what it's teaching us, the greater connections we can actually start to have with ourselves, which means the greater connections we can start having with others. This right here, if you ain't watched nothing from the podcast and none of my videos, this is something I really want you to take in. And I want you to sit with and ask yourself, okay, let me think of some of the worst things that I've ever been through. What is it mirroring back to me? And don't just look at what you're tolerating. Don't look at the easier part. It's easy to look at, well, I did tolerate this. And so it's teaching me that I'm tolerating this and I need to put my boundaries and things of that sort. If you've been doing some healing work, then you know to do that. Look at the other part. Where is it showing you that you're the same? Because we are more alike and more related to one another than we like to admit, especially when it's an uncomfortable thing to admit it. That is going to be your homework. And until next time, you know I'm sending you love. Bye.